those things, right? Is when you actually start speaking stuff and you start making action and move towards those goals, you'll see, and it's not always as apparent as we'd like it to be. Like, hey, I'm here to help you.
It's so subtle. It's most all of them are so subtle. It's unreal.
Yeah. But you need to be in the right mindset to accept it, because I guarantee you, even if you would have had that thought 5 years ago, you wouldn't have picked up the like, hey, made this connection and then been able to speak out and be like, hey, you should do this or join us or whatever it might be. So it's all about timing. And, they always say that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or for a lifetime.
We rise to the top, can't stop this flow. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's go. In the heart of the jungle.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Roundtable here with Ben. What's going on, man?
What's going on, dude?
Man,
New setting.
These chairs are comfy. They're pretty nice.
They're nice, man. They're kind of like king style, you know what I mean? Get comfy in it.
Feel kind of like a king over here.
Yeah, dude. It's, as you guys can see, a new set. We got to move the studio into a new little area, kind of pre-built for now. It'll kind of evolve as we get going, but this is kind of the little set for now, and hopefully it'll work for you guys. So,
like we said, we've had a lot in the works. We've been talking a lot behind the scenes, working on different things, trying to get a guest list set up.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. We've been talking to some really awesome people about it and getting more and more people ready to do it. We just got to do a few more little tweaks, and then we're going to get our first guest on here soon.
Yeah. I've been talking to a lot of people, man, so hopefully people kind of flow through, and our schedule's going to be kind of tough, but we'll figure all that stuff out, the logistical stuff. And
I was going to say, schedules are going to be kind of all over, but it's going to be good because we can bring their story to the viewers.
Yeah,
that's the important part.
That's the most important part, right? It's just, all the other stuff that we have to figure out through the stuff. I think it's just part of the story, right? Part of the journey. But I think,
it's the same as it always is.
It'll be
just
great.
Another part of the journey.
I'm excited. I know that just seeing the list that we started compiling, there's gonna be some really, really good guests, man. Like, super excited for people to hear their stories. And you just mentioned somebody now too, and just looking at the list and how it's growing, and seeing those names on there. And I know we've individually talked to all those people. It just I'm excited. There's some big stories in that list, and I'm excited for people to get to know it, and it'll be super, super cool. So I'm super excited, man.
The ones I've added on, some of their stories they're pretty crazy.
It's wild, man.
It's wild. I've shared some of them with you.
Yeah.
So you've started to look into them a little bit, but all right. So I have something for you today. Usually it's the other way around, but this week, so you guys noticed, I finished Relentless by Tim Grover. It's a freaking great book. It's a great book. It reminds me so many reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then I started
a lot of it.
Yeah. And I started re-listening to Winning.
Okay.
That beginning chapter is brutal, or the introduction. And I only say brutal because of what happened to Kobe Bryant. And it's very sad.
Yeah, for sure.
And very tragic. And to hear a grown man get tears in his eyes while he's trying to read it is worse. But the one thing he goes through, and he asks the question. He's like, I ask everyone this, so I'm going to ask you this, because he asked it, and I stopped and thought about it for a minute.
Okay.
What is winning?
What is winning?
Yeah.
I think it's to me, it's winning. To me, when I hear it, it's like success. So I think everybody has a little bit of different version of winning or success. To me, winning is making an impact for my family. That's really winning to me. I don't necessarily have to have the monetary value, or I think that comes with it. But winning to me is just being able to be that example for my family. So that means if that means that it comes with success, materialistic or monetary value tied to it, to me that means that I gave my family an example to be able to follow later, and leaving a legacy behind. And I know people throw around legacy a lot, but to me a legacy is something that lives on past beyond you, but also that your family's open to doing as well. And I'm not saying there's different areas that I can win at. I win, in the gym. I win, in my personal life when it comes to, my job and, the stuff that we're doing on the side, the podcast stuff. But all that stuff to me is set an example for my family. My daughter started her own stuff. Now, I see her down here and talking about the table, and she wants to use the table to do her own stuff. And she's talking about like, do I have to go to college and stuff like that? Well, you don't have to. You get to choose that depending on what you want to do. And she's like, well, why do people go to college? And I said, well, it's because, certain career paths require that. Things like doctors, lawyers, like you need that extra schooling to be able to have a certificate to say that you're knowledgeable in that space. And so just giving her that, being able to have those talks now and seeing her like mind roll towards the more entrepreneurial side, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. To me, I'm winning. I'm winning in life. I'm winning in the father category. I'm winning in the husband category. And there's things that I continue to get better at. But to me, winning is setting the example, setting the lead, and leading that charge. Because I think, people say, well, did you do it all for validation or for the respect of others? Well, no, not really. I did it because I wanted to leave something for my family to pick up. And that's really for me, man. I mean, I don't know. What about you? What's winning to you?
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was achieving my goals.
Okay.
Whatever that goal might be, whether big or small, was that's ultimately what it came down to, was achieving my goals, which, like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to be the monetary value behind it, but being able to achieve it for myself, period, for me. And this is coming from a position of me learning to love myself more and be more involved in myself, being able to achieve those goals, because that sets a precedent for my kids, like you're talking about, my wife, my kids, my friends, my family. They see that, okay, he's sticking to what he's saying. If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. If he wants to achieve it, he's going to achieve it. He's going to do it. That ultimately was what came to my mind, just finishing my goals, achieving my goals, and not letting off the gas, even though I hit them, even though I finished them, even though I got them. Set new ones, keep going, go bigger, whatever the case may be, bigger, better, stronger, faster.
Yeah, and I love that, because you say like you keep the goals, and it's almost like the goalpost always keeps moving.
It does.
You acknowledge the fact that you hit a goal, or you hit a milestone in winning whatever area that you're striving to, but then you also push that post a little bit back, or expand that goal to something larger to include others.
Yeah.
Even with this podcast, right? I think the journey in the very beginning for both of us was, to share our stories as well, but eventually to roll into sharing other people's stories. And I watched that journey evolve, because I know for a fact when we started, I was like, well, we can, we'll have guests and stuff, but at least from my standpoint, it was a lot more like, I just want to get the big names on here, right? Then as it started evolving, I was like, actually, we need to get people to share their stories. Like, how cool would it be to get people to just have a platform to share what they've been through? Because then we meet so many people, and we're like, we have a very different story, but we connect because there is similarities. There's paths that cross in there somewhere, and we're like, I fuck with you. I mess with you. Like, well, this is why we're cool. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was talking to my friend last night, sitting in the sauna, and we were talking about the podcast and talking about everything, and ultimately it came down to, he's like, in a way, you basically manifested me to be here. Mm-hmm. And just thinking about, like I've mentioned the last couple, like I've been more in tune with like what's going on with my body, what's going on with the signs of the universe, and what's going on outside of my own life.
Yeah.
Just paying more attention. And I'm like, shit, I didn't realize how much I have more or less manifested this, because we, like you were saying, we talked about it. But that was the initial step. And me and you have had this thought in the back of our head rolling for the last year of things. And we've been thinking of the process to get there, because you were moving, we moved the studio, and we're like, okay, my house where I had it wasn't ideal to have a guest or guests in there. The space was just not adequate for it. And the whole time, the second you got this house, your thought was, not only is this better for my family, you're like, what can I do? Where am I going to put the podcast? How am I going to set this up? So it's just manifesting, and we're slowly achieving those goals.
Yeah.
So in a way, we're creating my winning, but we're also creating yours at the same time, because we are working to create a legacy and working to create something that's going to last for years.
Yeah.
And bringing these guests on is one of the goals that I've had since we started this, and you've had too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a goal we had as a collective
that
we wanted to start getting people on here. And it's crazy to see it all coming
Yeah.
to life.
There's a book, and I think it's on your side or my side, but it's called The Power of the Creative Tongue, and it talks about that. And I don't think it's below us. I don't think it's up here
I was
anywhere.
gonna say I can't see it.
But that book talks about that. Speak what you want, right?
Yeah.
You reap what you sow. And we've heard it a lot, right? You hear it all the time. But, when you actually start implementing stuff and you actually start putting specific things that you actually want. We've talked about this in the past. I know one of our first episodes is about dreaming and being able to put yourself in the moment. But it's those things, right? Is when you actually start speaking stuff and you start making action and move towards those goals, you'll see, and it's not always as apparent as we'd like it to be. Like, hey, I'm here to help you. It's
so subtle. It's most all of them are so subtle. It's unreal.
Yeah. So you need to be in the right mindset to accept it, because I guarantee you, even if you would have had that thought 5 years ago, you wouldn't have picked up the hey, made this connection and then been able to speak out and be like, hey, you should do this or join us or whatever it might be. So it's all about timing, and they always say that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or for a lifetime. That's if you look at life that way, really, that's why people come into your life. They're either there for a season to kind of help you through some things, they're there for a reason to help you through that certain situation, or for a lifetime. That could be family, friends, whatever turns into from acquaintance to a lifelong friendship through something that maybe you started speaking into, even the stuff that we got going on in the background.
Yep.
How that is coming about works back to what you've talked about. If this is something that I've had a dream about, we talked about it, I told you about it, and I put it out there, and then boom, things start falling in line to get these things done. But it takes me to take the action that, hey, I want to do this, and then you do the things you need to do. And yeah, I agree. That's winning. I agree.
Well, it's like Roman Atwood said, and I think I talked about this last time. He talks about how his vision board is the businesses to remind him of what he wants to do for those.
Right.
So in his way, he's manifesting what he wants for the businesses. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to a little bit of Mel Robbins, and I know absolutely nothing about manifesting, guys, just to be absolutely clear. I am so new to this.
We're not gurus. We've said it a million times.
I am so new to this, and one of the guests we have on, I want him to dive more into some of it, but I right now don't know much about it, so I've just been kind of picking and choosing what I'm listening to. But Mel was talking about, and I think I explained it last time too, you can dream of wanting something, but if you don't dream of the steps to get there, you're never going to.
Yeah.
And so that's something, when I listen to that, between those two, I've been listening to the steps, thinking about the steps of how things are going to process to get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
Just like even this, I've been thinking about, okay, well, I need to get out of my comfort zone and talk to people.
Yeah.
So my wife's been giving me a hard time because I'll see somebody with tattoos and I'll go up and be like, yo, hey, I like your tattoos. Like we've talked about.
We did.
I got my first compliment at the gym the other day. Yeah. I don't even think I've told you yet. I don't think I have, because it was Wednesday, I think it was. Okay. Or Tuesday, because it was after back day, I think.
Okay.
But over there, just taking a picture of my back, see how it's coming in, and walk out, and the guy's like, yo, back's looking good, dude. It's looking awesome.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, he's like, your chest is coming in, your back. He's like, you got some killer definition.
Yeah.
But I've been manifesting this stuff into my mind, like trying to get people to, and it sounds selfish as fuck, but compliment you. So you feel good about it. Mm-hmm. But it's just everything's just slowly manifesting. Oh, talking to these people, somebody coming up to me and being able to talk back and not feel uncomfortable or awkward about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So again, achieving my goal, full circle back to the winning. I'm achieving my goal of being able to talk to more people easily and more effectively, rather than, it's that be interested, not interesting. Mm-hmm. So I'm more interested in what they got going on, what tattoos they have, or what's going on with them, versus, oh, look at my tattoo, look at this, look at that.
Exactly.
No, that's pretty sick. Where'd you get that done? Where'd you get that done? How'd you get that? How much do you have? Different things like that. Be more interested in what they have going on.
Exactly.
So I'm achieving my goal of always right there, just slowly pushing that goalpost, talk to that person a little bit more. I show interest in them. Eventually they're going to show interest back in me.
And if they don't, it's fine.
Exactly. It's fine.
You have enough confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. Like, I did my part, right?
Yeah. No sweat off my back. I'm
Yeah.
not hurt if you're not interested back, but eventually you might be curious about something.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm curious enough to ask you multiple things or ask you something a couple of times, you might be curious enough to say, hey, what's up with this or what's
Yeah.
up with that? Why are you doing it this way? Whatever the case may be. But again, I'm winning because I'm getting out of my circle,
100%.
at least in my opinion. I was talking to my wife about this, and it's such a broad question because it can go
You can go different
100
ways.
different
Yeah,
ways.
for sure. Yeah. No, I agree, man. It's kind of going back to what you said, you know, and I think we hit on this last week too, which is, you know, seeing the steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about that last conversation we had, and it's like, well, it's like if, you know, use your gym analogy, right? If I said, hey man, you know, I need you to, you know, you were trying to grow your biceps. You can't sit there and just be like, I want bigger biceps. You have to literally look at the steps of what you need to do. The more you understand the steps and everything that you're going to do, and you actually do those things, that's the road to having better biceps or a better chest or losing weight or whatever it might be. That's your goals. That's goals. Like, you can try to manifest it, but you just sitting there saying, I want this ain't gonna, like, from my understanding, ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
You know, I could be like, I wanted a better house, you know, I wanted this and that. But if I don't do the steps, whether it be go put out the work or go search for a home, and it's not going to just show up to your door. I mean, maybe one or two people, are, you know, 1 out of a million again, that's going to happen. But more than likely, you have to go put yourself in the steps and think through the things that you have to do, work your way backwards, and you'll be able to kind of achieve those things. That's just what I've seen from the people that I know. And
I mean, I think most of them, without even knowing it, have manifested what they want.
oh, for sure,
They've,
negative or positive too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 100%. You know, I've started trying to be very nice to myself, you know, in whatever way, like, oh, you know, like I made a post earlier, like put this shirt on and, oh, like I can feel it's tighter around my biceps, or I can feel I'm looking better here. Or, you know, even like a joking comment to my wife, you know, oh, I got abs starting to come in.
Yeah.
And, you know, she joked like, where? And I'm like, oh, on the side. Like, I know they're not here, but like there's a line over here. And she's like, oh shit. Yeah, I can. Closer she looks, she's like, I see it. I see it. I get it. I get what you're saying. But it's like, and another thing, like our friend, I'm like, yo, you got shoulders to die for. Like, those are some badass shoulders. And she's like, you're literally manifesting what you want right there. Just by seeing it and saying this stuff, you're manifesting what you want. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that 100%.
Yeah.
Part of why I'm doing it. You know, and it caused me, the second I saw it, it caused me to do more work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, if I want that, I need to take the steps to
Right.
get there. She's like, okay, well, let's
So,
do it.
You know, how would you, because I can see that go multiple ways of somebody that's envious. That can go
See,
a route
I-
of envy, right? Not saying that you would, but I could see how people could look at that and they would look at somebody like, oh, because there's those people, right? And I know that I've been in those times back in when I was younger that I would look at somebody like, oh man, like I wish I had, you know, but it's like, how can you tell somebody like, hey, how do you distinguish that from envy to like actually acknowledging and respecting what they've done and manifesting that into your life? Because there is a difference from looking at somebody and be like, oh, you're just, you know, you look good. That's just what there's going to be. And you're upset. Because I know that when I was younger, those were some of the feelings that I had.
100%. I've been there. I mean, I think we talked about it back in the beginning of all of this. And I wish I could remember exactly what Andy Frisella said or how he said it, because it was the way and how he said it was a complete mind shift on my part. It's from what I can remember and understand and think about what I am. If I'm jealous of them, all I'm doing is hurting myself. If I'm proud of them, that shows the universe that I'm willing to get out there to do the work, that I'm proud of whatever they've accomplished because they've worked hard in whatever way you think. Somebody's worked hard. Yeah, there's trust fund kids, there's all this stuff, whatever, but you can be happy for their parents that they worked their ass off to get that, whatever it is.
Right.
You can be envious all you want, but that's all it's going to do. It's just going to hurt you. It makes you upset, makes you sour towards them, rather than be like, man, I see you. I see you putting in the work. That shit's awesome, man. I'm proud of you. People forget to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've reached out to people that I know and been like, yo, I've seen you put the work in, dude.
Yeah.
You know, all these years, I remember when you were here and now you're here. You know, like there's a specific person I'm thinking of right now. I should reach out to him, get him on here because he's probably got a hell of a story. Actually, I know he does, but I've seen you go from here to here and create this business and create this life, and now you can enjoy your life. And I see it, and it's freaking awesome. And I've talked to him in person once over the years, and I messaged him and was like, yo, I just want you to know I'm proud of you. Like,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere. Like, he didn't do anything to deserve it from me besides do what he was meant to do. Yo, I'm proud of you. I see your hard work. All your stuff, it's awesome. Goals right there.
Yep.
Rather than envious and jealous, goals. Goals.
Yeah, I think to wrap that up in a bow, it's you just kind of look at it from a point of, of respect.
Yeah.
You acknowledge that the grind that they went through, and you know that you're no different. They're no different from where you are, right?
No.
That you just need to shift your mindset, and even, I think people also sometimes are afraid to ask the question. Say, hey, how did you get into that? It's be interested, right? Hey, how did you, what made you push for all this success, or what made you, how did you decide to get so fit?
Yeah.
What did you do? People don't understand if you shift the mindset to not be negative and take it a certain way, you actually are looking for the information because the people will give it to you.
Always learning.
People are going to want to tell you how they did it. Especially when it comes to your body, they're appreciative of their body. If they worked hard, if they're fit, they're going to tell you, man, that, it's a grind. But yeah, this is kind of what I did. Now, whether that worked exactly for you, I don't know. But you can ask them what they did. And I think when you come from a different perspective on them and just say, hey, I want to learn. I want to just pick your brain instead of being like, oh, I wish that I was you, or I wish that, whatever it might be. But it just, hey, you must have the information. I got to know. How'd you do it? Boom.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think it's people overcomplicate it, maybe getting too far into the brain. At least that's where I was back in the day. And I'd be like, oh, well, these people are lucky. These people that. But then when you start looking at it, it's not really luck. It's more of just they had a different mindset at the time and they put it in. They got the work in.
Luck's winning the lottery.
Yeah, that's about the only lucky thing that you can hit.
That's luck. Luck is winning the lottery.
Yeah, gambling maybe, but
that at least the way I see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Luck's winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Winning at gambling, because that is a game of luck, period. And you can count cards, that's all that. Any of the card games is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But all the machines and the lottery, that's literally luck.
Yeah.
You're not given, you pick numbers and it's randomly selected.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, as people work their ass off or something. I mean, even the casino owners work their ass off to get those casinos, or the companies built big enough that they could buy the casino, build the casino. Like, it's hard work.
And luck is low-key disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it. I won't drop any names because I don't know if they'll watch this, but they've said it to me, and I've turned around and been like, yeah, I don't look at it that way. Oh, well, you just always been lucky with this and that, and I'm like, it's just I just move differently. I look, my mentality's always been different. I'm always striving for more. And that might sound arrogant to certain people, but also the more I've learned about people that are successful, the people that actually move and get bigger, they think they're the shit, man. They don't think that, I'm just okay. I'm just average. You have to trick yourself to believe that you are the shit. Even if deep down inside you're like, man, I really don't. I really, have lacked these skill sets, but you have to almost trick yourself to say, no, I am the shit. And yeah, I heard it, man. I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, well, look, I don't look at it that way. I'm sorry that you do, but I just work hard. I've always wanted more. I've always pushed for more. So I put myself in rooms where, opportunity presents itself, and then I take advantage of that. And then didn't say anything. We just moved on. But it is what it is. I mean, that shit pisses me off because I'm like, all right, it pisses me off to the mode where I want to grow even more because I want to show them even more and more and more. And maybe that comes from a dark place, but that's how I operate. I take the negative shit. I love that stuff.
I mean, you listen to the greats, and Andy Frisella talks about it all the time. You fuck me over, I'm gonna you doubt me, I'm going to prove you.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that because there's a lot of people that are like, you can't do that. Why?
Yeah. Watch us.
Why?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I almost welcome people being like, hey, you're not going to make it.
Oh.
We've talked about it before because it's up to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% up to us and how we do anything in life, whether we're talking about the podcast, our marriage. Granted, marriage is a 2-part game, but still it's up to us to put the work in on our side. You know, everything, fatherhood, it doesn't matter. It's up to us to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
If the work's not reciprocated in the marriage, there's only so much we can do. But we know we put our foot forward. You'd have more experience than me, but at this point in your life, if you looked back at 10 years ago, you can look at yourself and be like, there's things that I fucked up on.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
Lots of things.
I go back like thinking about my tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I come with the mindset shift. Like the one on my leg, I didn't think I wanted more, and obviously I got more, but I'm like, that pain was excruciating. It is a hard part to get tattooed. The arms are a lot easier, but I'm like, sitting through the arm, the physical pain took over it, like was nothing compared to everything else. So much easier.
Yeah.
But my mindset's way different than it was back then.
Yeah.
My mindset's way different. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. It's a needle stabbing your skin up. And it's a fine line type needle, and those fucking hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worth it. My mindset's way different.
Yeah.
Way different.
I think I was talking to my barber about this today, which hopefully I know he'll get on here, but it's that I think it comes from being more aware, right? Growth offers you the opportunity to be more aware of those situations where your mind wants to say, fuck this, let's pull out. I think I mentioned to you this about like the cold plunge, and that's kind of how I put it. It's, every day when you get in there, that's your first hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, damn, you're thinking of how bad it was the last day or the day before. You're like, and then that's the first hurdle you get through once you get in. And then the next hurdle for me is the minute, the first minute, my mind's like, dude, why are you in here? Just get out. So it's like with your tattoo, it's the same thing. It's like, your mindset's so grown so much that your thresholds, and you're like, you've pushed those thresholds further and further, and you're more aware where they lay. And so you're like, I can move past these thresholds faster, where maybe you would have aborted or been like, I can't, it's your thresholds are, they grow. And I think pain is one of those things where I think is, it's variable to person. I mean, I'm not a big pain person. I cry about little things. If I get sick, I'm out.
I'm the man cold. Okay, when I get sick, I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
but I'm that way. But when it comes to, it's a little sadistic, but some of that pain is, it's like everybody says, ink therapy. Like it is to a degree pretty therapeutic. There's spots that I won't ever get tattooed. At least I say that now, but it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
And when I'm done, guess what? I just won.
Yeah.
I beat the pain. I got a badass piece on my arm or my back, wherever it might be. And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Something to do, something to look at, something to talk about.
Yeah. You won.
Like
you said, you won.
I won.
You're winning. Yeah. No, I agree, man. That's tattoos are amazing. They're fun. They're fun to get, and they definitely have a.
All of that said, so if you guys have listened to Tim Grover, read his book, anything, it's the closer, cleaner.
Right.
I can't remember the third one. Yeah, I should.
Closer, cleaner. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I should remember because I just finished the book. But, the greats look at winning as like uncivilized, unruly, uninhibited. And the great late Kobe Bryant said it's everything, which not to take that away, but that's the best. That's truly the best answer of winning. Like, in my opinion, it's everything.
It is, man. I mean, that's all you got.
Yeah.
You got one life. Are you going to win? And you can look at your whole life as that. Are you going to win or are you going to lose? There's small wins through the purpose, and you'll take some losses, but the overall score should be a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then there's a quote on my desk upstairs, and then I'm gonna butcher it, but it says, when they write when they write your book of life about you, let them show your losses, not that you didn't play.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just look at all my failures, look at all my losses, but just know that the overall story of our life will be won.
Yeah.
They won. That's ultimately what it needs to be, and I think that's what Kobe was getting to. Winning is everything, because that's all you have to, you can control all of that. There's those outside factors that, are variables, but the overall way you look at yourself and the way you move forward with your life, are you going to win at it, or are you going to take a loss?
Or how do you act with the loss?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take it with gratitude? Do you take it as a learning lesson?
Bingo.
Those two things, if you're learning from that loss, you're already winning.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it with gratitude because you put everything out on the line for it, you won right there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, how we started this, went through all the hurdles, went through all the ups and downs, went through everything. We learned from those lessons, okay? I mean, even to the setup we have right now.
Yeah.
We, in a way, have been manifesting this and taking our losses with our previous setup and our moving and this and that.
And this is only temporary. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, but we're taking it with strides. We're taking it with gratitude because we've learned so much. I mean, I don't even want to listen or look at our first ones, to be honest.
I love it, man. I really do.
I know I'm going to go back one day and I'm going to be like, damn.
Didn't I tell you? You're going to go back, look at them, and I told you about it in one of the videos. I was like, watch, use this. We're going to look back at this, and we're like, dang, dude, we've grown so much. Because I saw this from a mile away, because I know how it works. I know how everything is laid out, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there for this. Like, this ain't comfortable for us.
And it's uncomfortable to kind of be like, what do you do for a living? Well, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And it's just been recently, I've been like, you know what? I'm accepting this.
Yeah.
And I should have done it a while back, but the universe,
you gotta own it,
I
man.
wasn't listening to the universe. So it's partially my bad, but I've learned a lot over this.
Yeah.
A lot over the course of this year. We've talked a lot. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from you. I think you've learned some from me.
A lot, man.
We've learned what we want, what we don't want, but we've taken everything with strides. We've taken everything as a lesson, and we've won every battle because we've been going to continue to try to grow.
Yeah.
Continue to win, continue to push. We've been looking at, okay, we need to do this. Okay, we need to do that. Yeah. Okay, now that we've done this and that, how do we do this or that?
Well, that's growth too, because we continuously push each other, right? We're like you said, how can we get a little bit better at this? How can we? We're constantly thinking of ways to be better and learning from the things that have gone wrong or that we've learned from, or what failures. We've learned from all those things, with just gratitude. Like, God, this is great. Like, there's not one moment that I've called you call me like, I'm having such a hard time with or the views, or it doesn't, like, all that stuff is just part of like the journey to me. No, man, seriously. Like,
no, I've been looking at them more lately because, like I told you, I did an experiment over this week.
Yeah, you did.
I did an experiment this week, and I've been kind of watching to see what has been hitting, what hasn't been hitting, and I got to look at it closer, and I'm going to do it again next week, change up how I'm doing some of it so that I can see, like you said, we're testing the algorithm. We're trying to figure it out. Yeah. It's ever changing. We have a good idea of what to do, and now it's to implement it, to try to figure out what path. But my win again was on my bios, this by day, this by night.
Yeah. This is a business.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's the reality behind it. This isn't, maybe people are like, oh, it's just something that it's a hobby. But when the moment you shift, like, no, this is a business. I treat it like a business. I treat this as important as I would that I went to my 9 to 5 and did this and that. That's how I treat this. This is how I know that you look at this. This is why I believe so much that it'll be something that will one day turn into $100 million business, because I could see it. I could see the full term vision, and it's scary to put that out there. People are like, oh, this guy's thinking me crazy. But look back at this video when you see it, however long it takes, you're like, wow, he did speak that out. And it did happen, because I see this going the way it needs to go. And back to your point is, you accept where you're at and say, look, I know where we're at, but I know what I want to be. And I accept the title of, hey, I own this. It's a media business. it is what it is. It doesn't just pop out of air and somebody just, this is something that you create, and it takes work, it takes ethics, it takes an investment, it takes time. You could be at home with your family. You choose to be here because you believe in the vision, you believe in the business, and that's just the way you need to treat it as such, and that's the way people grow. That's the way people get what they want, manifest what you want.
Three of the people that I've asked, literally because of that. One of them just happens to be my barber, and we've just had some great conversations over the time, and he was talking about it, and I was like, I want to invite you. He's like, absolutely. He's got a pretty good backstory. And another one was interest. I showed interest in him, and he finally was like, yo, what do you do? And that was my time to be like, okay, I'm fully accepting this. I've been accepting this, and this is my time. And I said, this is what I do. And he said, oh, cool. Let me listen. Okay, cool. Appreciate it. I want to ask you, would you be willing to come on? 1,000%. Done. Okay. Now the next step, once we get one more piece of the puzzle, it's going to be, hey, let's get this lined out. Let's get this figured out. We got this.
It's the way it is, man.
It's gonna be like you said, it's gonna be freaking crazy. But God, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the shit I got to run there. Oh, I got to pick up this person. I got to pick up whatever the hell it is. I am freaking stoked for it.
Yeah, it's the journey is amazing, and the guests we'll have, and the studio that we built out. I mean, I have this all pictured out, and
oh man, I have bigger. It's
gonna be amazing, man. And it's gonna be being able to do it with a family member, being able to do it with the people that come join us for their story, and it's a big thing, but I'm telling you that one day we'll look back at all those videos. I know it's in one of the videos. I literally tell you, like, one day we're gonna look back at this little room and be like, dang, we came from this little room, and we've already moved once. And I'm telling you, one day we'll have our own freaking studio. I told you that one of my family visions is to have a whole center for women, for men, that'll have a podcast area, that'll have. I mean, this is a huge facility. I'm talking massive. And that's part of our dream. We have a drawing of it upstairs that Taylor drew out of where everything will be, and this podcast is part of that dream. There's a room dedicated just for that. It'll have a gym. It'll have all this different stuff, and people can come just be part of that community. That's what we're willing to build. So
it's freaking crazy because your wife's vision and my wife's vision and our visions, they're pretty well identical, because you just basically said my wife's vision.
Yeah, man.
And I don't think my wife's fully told you.
I've never heard
her vision of what she wants to build out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
It's damn near identical to what you just explained.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's what happens when you put yourself in rooms with like-minded people. They might not have the exact same, but you're moving in the same kind of direction. You might have a different path, but they're very, very similar. And that's just with my wife being spiritual, all that type of stuff. She wants her own spiritual room. She, like a big yoga room. And I was like, oh, we'll put that on the paper. And she drew it out. And then I was like, okay, put a gym for me. Put a podcast room. How big is the square feet? We're talking about a massive facility. All these different things. And I was like, all right, how much do you think that's going to cost us? So she put a number on it. And I was like, yeah, that's probably right. Well, we got to make $100 million. And she's like, okay. That's... And
literally thinking
it's crazy,
here,
man.
this is what my wife has told me like multiple times. And unless the two of them have talked about it, which is possible, it's
crazy, man. I'm telling you, brother.
I'm going to say this. I'm winning, and I know I'm winning, and I'm going to continue to win because I'm putting myself first. And as selfish as you guys might think that is, and yes, I'm looking at the camera here, you guys might think that's selfish as fuck. But once you start putting yourself first, life starts going. Because a lot of the conversation me and you have had today, or things you've said, literally were said to me last night or sometime this week, or visions that people around me have had that I don't know have even been discussed with other people. But I can tell you right now, when you're open to shit, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's the way it works. And now I'm going to take back, you don't need to apologize for that, man. I think you are the person that you are, and people need to, if they see it a certain way that you see
Fuck
yourself
'em.
in a certain light, that's what we talked about earlier. That's on you. It's not on him.
No.
We're supposed to look at ourselves this way, and that's because we believe in each other. We believe in the community that we have, and that's okay. And if people take it a certain way, it is what it is, and you can come talk to me about it. I'll give you a little chat about it. But no, man, I mean, no, it's crazy that was drew out like a year and a half ago. So I don't know.
I'm gonna call her on the way home and talk to her,
You got it, man. It's crazy, but
and I'll report back.
but
next
that's
week,
the way. But I'm telling you, that's the way that it works.
Oh, 100%.
You get around people that want to do certain things and have a vision. You push the vision, and that's, I told you, everything will come to fruition. That's just the way it is.
Abundance.
Life is amazing, and when you live in a life of scarcity, like I came from a long time, and then you change it to a life of abundance, man, everything changes. And gratitude's thrown into there. I lead with love, man. That's just the way it is. You can't lead with hate. You lead with love, and things will work out. It's just the way it is. So.
Well, I can't think of any
Shocked.
challenges, besides look at your life and start counting your wins. Start thinking, the big question, and I'm not trying to take it from him or anything, is look at what winning means to you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what winning means to you. Look at what your life is. Look at what is being given to you. Look at what is around you, and be more aware and take the envious out of it and start loving what people have done. That is going to be the hardest fucking thing you have done, I think, to this point, but it is 100% worth it.
And I would say, just to add a little cherry on top, is look at the little wins too, guys. You don't have to look at these major wins. Every day is a win. If you woke up, and if you're married and your kid and your wife woke up that day, you're winning in life. But you have to stretch yourself a little bit more to push for the big wins, and be grateful. God, life is so short. It's just being grateful for everything you got, everybody you have in your life. I'm grateful for this man. I'm grateful for his family. I'm grateful for my family, for my wife, my kid. I'm grateful for her family. So just wake up being grateful, and know that you're winning if you're progressing and wanting to move forward. I think that's the biggest thing in life is don't quit on yourself, and take the loss as a win and move forward. So
We've definitely won in the extended family department.
100%.
So.
I can't complain.
Hell no.
But yeah, man, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for all the work you've done here. This is going to be an episode. We're going to have to somehow mark this episode and look back in a few years.
You got it.
We'll figure something out.
Well, shit, it's easy because it's the first one in this.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you.
See ya.